Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Is the screen visible? Not yet. Just give
No,
me
sir,
one second.
not yet.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, hope it is visible now. Yes. So this is the problem. What I have told you to solve it or not. So yes or no. Tell me. Yesterday also I didn't got any reply for this question. Whether you have solved it or not. I'm asking you. You're not replying at all. You're not solved it. Yes. Okay. Let us see one more day. Tomorrow also I'll wait. So if you are solving it, take a screenshot of this question and try to solve the answer for this. Okay, so give a try for this question. Yeah, so take a screenshot of this question and try to solve this problem. If you're done with it, you're taking the screenshot of it, we'll begin the class. Hopefully you're done with it. Yes. After that, we have seen the Gaussian random variables. We just will recap what is happened in the next previous class. So you've seen we have seen sum of two independent random variables in the previous class, right? Okay, right, all right. So this is what we have discussed in the previous class, how to do the sum of two independent random variables. So we have taken W as the sum and X and Y as the two independent random variables, and how to do the sum of that we have seen. And where the condition here is, when we can say that they are independent, we can say they are independent when the convolution of this two is equals to 0, then we can say that they are independent, and for that corresponding we have did the further process. Okay, yes, okay. So for that we have calculated the mean of that. So mean is given by E of x. So for W it is E of W. We calculate the mean, we get mu W equals to mu x plus mu y, and we did the variance of this. So mean and variance we have completed, right? And for this finally we got this expression. So sigma W square equals to sigma x square plus sigma y square. What is that expression? That is the variance of two independent random variables. Now we are at this juncture where we are trying to find out the PDF of W. So PDF here, this one. Okay, so this is what we are trying to see today on okay, yeah, we'll continue here from here on. So So the basic idea what we have here is, so we know that w equals to x minus y. Similarly, from this expression, what is x then? X equals to what? X equals to w minus y. Similarly, y equals to w minus x. So this is what the understanding what we have. Correct? Okay. Yes. So now from this we are trying to find out the PDF of this. Anything if you want to find PDF, it is PDF is small f. For x if you are writing, we'll write x. For w we are writing PDF of w. F of w we have to write. Okay. For the corresponding fw of w. So this is what we have to find. Okay. So this will be the integral of minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay. So we have the terms fx of x into actually fy of y should come. So this y is actually w minus x. So this w minus x we wrote, and then this correspondingly we'll do with differentiation of dx, or this x place we can replace by y and y place we can replace by x. We can do like that also. Okay, so if you do like that, this expression can also be written as or okay, we can also write this as integral minus infinity to plus infinity. This remains same. So replace this x by y. So this fy of y into this fx of what is x value? W minus y, right? So w minus y, instead of dx we can write as dy. Okay, so this way we can find out the PDF of sum of two random variables. Or one more way we can also write this. What way we can write this? Or this also can be written as, what way can we write this? So this is very simple. So this corresponding function fw of w will be equals to this is as fx of x. Okay, and the convolution of that is star mark here. This is the convolution operator of fy of y. Okay, where this star mark here is there, right here, this star mark here, this is the what operation? Convolution operation. This probably you might have seen in your signals and systems, convolution. Correct? So convolution operator. What does this operator, convolution operator means? What it does actually? Okay, so what is the final summary of this? What is that PDF of two random variables if you are trying to find? Okay, so where we have something called final note of this, where you have something called w equals to x plus y, if you have like this, and if you are trying to find out the probability density function for this, okay, probability density function of the corresponding random variables is what is this expression. What is this? Is the convolution, is the convolution of what? Convolution of PDFs of x and y. So what is the meaning of this? Wherever if you want to find the sum of PDFs, if you want to find sum of PDFs. Sum of PDFs means what? For w if you want to find. So this, then you have to find PDF of x, okay, and you have to do the convolution operator with PDF of y. Okay, that's what we did. So this is a PDF function. This corresponding f is the PDF function. Okay, PDF function of w. This f is PDF of this corresponding thing is PDF of x, and this corresponding thing is PDF of y. So to make it simple to you, what is that final conclusion? The convolution, the sum of two PDFs is the convolution of individual PDFs. Okay, is that clear? So that's about your sum of two. Now till now what we did the mean of them, we did the variance of them, and we did the PDF of them, correct? So now we are going to do the characteristic function. What we are going to do, we're going to do the characteristic function. So what does it mean? Same we are talking about same topic. We are discussing about characteristic function. So what is this characteristic function? Characteristic function for W we are trying to find. So for W means what? For W equals to what? It is going to be equals to X and Y. So this we know it. For this function we are trying to find the expression. Okay. Now, so this characteristic function is given by the symbol phi. Right? To make it look much more attractive, we can also write like this, phi symbol. Okay. So we are trying to deal with the frequency factor. Okay. So now we are trying to write phi W of j omega, which means it is j omega we are trying to write here, which means the frequency component is involved here. Because when we see any waveform here, right, the waveform can vary like this if it's analog in nature. Okay, or let us say this is continuous in nature. In case if it is discrete, we can have the values like this. There is no continuity, this is discrete, and this is like digital again. So now where omega is involved here, this omega will be equals to 2 pi f. The frequency of that depends on this omega. By 2 pi f it is 0 and it is pi, and up to here it's 2 pi. Okay, that's called as angular velocity or angular frequency, whatever. Okay, we're not going into the details of that. So omega we have. So what to write, for example, this one we want to find. To find out this one, we need to have some basic here. We have already seen phi x of jx. Phi x of jx is what? Phi x of jx will be equals to the expectation of e power j omega x. Let us say this one is equals to this. Now similarly for this one, we have x and y, two operators are there. Okay, but in general we will write it here as w. Okay, instead of x we replace this by w. How to write this? Expectation of e power j omega, but here also see here j omega, instead of x we should write now w, correct? W is capital W. When I write like this, this is your omega. When I write this one, this is capital W. Okay, yeah. Now replace this W here. What do we get? Expectation of e power j omega into x plus y. Is that okay? Anything doubt here? So if you split up this x terms for the sum, it will be e power j omega x, okay, and then into e power j omega y. We get like this, right? Now from that we can also separate. If you expand the expectation operator, it will be like this: expectation of e power j omega x, the separate entity we can write, and into e power j omega y. Okay, now as we discussed here previously, okay, what is this yeah, what is this one? This e power j omega x is looking like phi x of jx, or let us say where you have omega here, phi x of j omega, it looks like that. So when you write finally, this one is going to be the expression of final answer is going to be like this. Just a second, there was some glitch here. Yeah, final expression I'm going to write. So finally this phi, okay, this phi w of jw is equals to j x of j omega. Okay, here it is omega, right? Here also it's omega, j omega. Actually it's plus or into, it's into phi y of j omega. Okay, so the final conclusion of this one is what? The characteristic function, okay, which is represented as this characteristic function of, okay, sum of two independent. How can you say they are independent? When you say this covariance of x and y, covariance of x and y equals to 0, then they are said to be independent. Okay, the sum of the characteristic function of sum of two independent random variables is equals to the product of characteristic function, is equals to the product of characteristic function, okay, of two independent random variables. What is the meaning of that final conclusion here is, see, this is the characteristic function, correct? For this characteristic function of two random variables, here two random variables for x, w with, w is what, x and y, there are two random variables, correct? For that, if you are trying to find out the sum of the two independent random variables, then it's going to be the individual random variable characteristic function multiplied by that. Okay, is that clear? Is a product here. This is going to be into, so which means this is a product. Okay, so that's the conclusion of this. Now, where to use this? So till now, this much we studied about sum of two independent random variables. What is this? Where to study this? This much we have understood. What is this topic we are trying to see? We are trying to see which one? Sum of two independent random variables. Where to use this, sir? Any one of you? So where can we use this topic? Where can we use this to understand? What is this essence behind it, application behind it? Any one of you? Just a second, it's stuck up here. Too much of data here. We are loading into the single page, so that it will be easy for you finally. Whenever you want, you can look into it. Oh, one second. Okay. Okay, this is what we have seen. And what is the application of this? I'm asking you. What is the application perspective of this? What was the application perspective of this? Any one of you? Anyone? Hello? You can try. You can just think and try. Okay. Let us say I am talking to you now. right? I'm talking to you now. Along with that, when I'm talking to you, what is that we call it as? It's called as signal. Correct? Now I'll do something like this. What happened now? I made some noise here. Can you hear the noise? What I am making? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You can hear the noise? Usually, this Microsoft Teams have used an algorithm for suppressing the noise. There are noise suppressors inside this tool. It is not. It is recognizing. It is voice or it is noise. Okay. If you want, you can do something like, let us say, I'll show you a demo. You see here, I am muting myself. Correct? And I am not talking anything. You see this here. If I talk now after muting, it will show you are muted. Let us say I am keep talking to you. So I am trying to talk to you, it is showing like that. If I am not talking at all, it will show. Is it clear? So inbuilt, it has a noise suppressor. So that's one of the application here for that. Now, when we are transmitting any signal, let us say the signal along with that we have added something of that will get noise. Anything when you are transmitting along with signal will get the noise. So here the W is what your actual signal if you want to transmit. You have to transmit the signal plus your noise, or let us say this W is also equals to signal plus some variable, because noise is not, we cannot say it's a fixed value, some variable quantity also will be transmitted through that. Okay, so that's what the application here, which means sum of two independent random variables is adding a single random variable s to a independent random variable v. So this one, so to understand it, so I'll make it in a different way to you so that you can understand it clearly. Okay, now let us see this in a different way, in a different perspective. Let us try to understand. Okay, yes, once we see the application we can move on to the next topic if you don't have any doubts in this. Okay, now, so application of what we are trying to see, we are trying to see application of sum of independent random variables. Correct? Sum means what? It's actually adding. This is nothing but your sum. Okay, sum is nothing but your adding. Okay, so we have a signal random variable. Let us say we have x. Yes, can let us say be a signal, and this is a random variable. Okay, and this is independent. Okay, to the independent random variable noise. So one more random variable, let us say here is a variable. This is again independent. So this is also independent. This is also independent. When we have a signal which is independent in nature, okay, that corresponding thing is your adding. So W equals to a single random variable V, which is a signal. Okay, this corresponding signal and this corresponding variable. Any signal is adding with a variable. Let us say what we do, noise is not useful for us, correct? So we have to remove it. But what we have to add, let us say if you are talking, or let us say you listen to music, right? What will happen to music? Let us say I am talking, that can be an audio, correct? And someone is playing a back end, some more things, some more variable can be a musical instrument. This variable can be a musical instrument, and this variable can be an background score, BGM we call it as background music, right? BGM. or this variable can be what to say, chorus singers, right? Okay, which means there is a lead singer here which is having a signal yes. Along with that, we need to add the musical instruments, we need to add the background music, we need to add the chorus. Along with that, one more thing, anything else we have to add, that has to be added. Along with that, anything else to be added, that also has to be added. Now what is the point here to make it finally to you is, so along with the audio we are able to listen the music. It's all because of this addition of two independent random variables. There are two independent entities, they are will have a different frequency and the musical instruments have a different frequency. Okay, so that's the application perspective of this uh, which one, adding of two independent random variables. Is that okay? Right, so let us move on to the next topic. Sorry. Any doubts in this or any other applications? If you want to add, please add. Okay, next. So tomorrow's class I am going to check for sure whether you have solved it or not. Which one? The numerical question. So next is what we are trying to see today. So the next topic from here on, which is sum of IID random variables. So till now we have seen sum only, no sir, sum of two independent random variables we have seen. What is this IID? This I stands for what? This I stands for independent. Let us say one second. Yeah. So this I stands for independent and this I stands for again identical. This D stands for what? Distributed. So independent, identical, distributed random variable. Okay, independent and identical. Okay, or identically, let us say independent and identically distributed random variables. What is IID? They are independent to each nature, but they are identical entities. Okay, so independent and identical, but they are in a distributed manner, in a time scale or in a frequency scale, whatever it is. So independent and identically distributed random variables. Before we have seen only what? Sum of two independent random variables, right? Now along with independent, we have now seeing identical. Okay, so let us say much more clearly to you which identical things also we are trying to distribute now, or trying to add now. Okay, which means same as the previous one, but now we have n number of things, like you told right before, just before I have told you. See this here. So here we have seen the chorus singer's voice. If this is independent to each other, it's okay. This one. Okay. If that is not independent, if these two are matching, then they are identical voices. So till now we have seen only about the music. Let us say now you have to distinguish between two identical voices. Okay. So let us say this one. Two identical voices now. Okay. And one more thing. It can be n number. It cannot be only one. Before it can only one or two random variables. We are adding it. Now identical values or independent values can be n number. We cannot say only one or only two. Correct? Now let us compute this. What is happening here? We are assuming n number. What is n number? What is n? So n is the, so this is n is IID independent and identically distributed random variables. There are n number of identical, so independent identical distributed random variables. RV stands for random variables. In that case, if n is like that, then what can we write? We can have a random variable x1, we can have random variable x2, and so on up to, let us say, x4, and so on up to x power n. So this n is what is the n number. The finite it is, it can be 100, it can be 20, it can be 40, whatever. Okay. Now how to write this? Now? So as usual, so if you want to find the sum of them, we have to find the w. So w is the sum. Actually, we have understood. Correct? So this w is what? Okay, this w is what? Is the sum of what? N independent identically distributed random variables. Let us say I will strike off this sum here. Let us assume that w is your sum of this. Now, how to write this w? So we have w you have here, because it's difficult to write every time, right? We cannot write x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5 plus x6 plus xn. We cannot write that. But how to write that professionally in mathematics? How to write this w now? I'll make it much more simple. The wn we are trying to find. How to write this wn? When you have some things to add, what we use? Let us say x1 plus x2 plus, this way also we can write. This is also not wrong. This is also correct. But instead of writing like this, is there any simple method to write this?
Summation.
Exactly. So summation of this for the values of, let us say I, we are assuming I equals to 1 up to this value up to n. For which one? For x, this corresponding x should have I. Okay. This is for the identical random variables, independent identical random variables. Now the question here is, we need to find the expectation of this. So what we have to find? We have to find the anything what you see in this module, right? We have to find either expectation, either we are trying to find, or either we are finding variance or sigma square or covariance or PDF. Anything out of this only we are trying to find. All are similar, but the way we write initially is what is you have to learn. Once you understand how we write initially, right, further it will go simple. Okay. Yeah. So expectation of, we are trying to find this expectation of, actually before x only, now we have to find the expectation of xi. We have to find expectation of xi. Okay. Usually we know that this one xi, if you want to find, very simple, xi is as simple as expectation of x only. Correct? There is no change in it. Why there is no change? If I replace the I value as 1, it will be same expectation of x1. It will be. If I replace the I value by, let us say, by 2, if it is not 1, let us say if it is 2, then if it is not 1, it is 2, then it will come here as 2. Correct? So that is going to be same, it's not going to change. So let us say that will be, make it simple, it will be mu x. Okay, this is done. Now what about this one? How we want to find the variance? So variance of what we have to find? Variance of xi if you want to find. So this also is pretty simple. It is going to be equals to variance of x. Whichever I you are writing, that I, x suffix I will come here. That's what I mean to say. So sigma x squared. Okay, it is done. Now the question here is, let us say you have two things now. One dimensional, it is done. now we have two-dimensional if you assume. So what is that two-dimensional? If you have the expectation, if you want to find for xi, along with that one more xj, if you want to find for this, then what to be done? There are two conditions here. There are two conditions here. When I value equals to j value and I value is not equals to j value. What I mean to say, I is 1, j is 1. Both are 1, which means 2 times if you are trying to do it. Then it becomes squared. If not, what is that then? How to do that? It's simple. Okay, so here first, if I equals to j, then expectation of, we can write I and j are both equal, then we can write as xi or xj, any one whole square, which is nothing but, if you have xi, it is e of x, xi square, it will be expectation of x square. So what is this expectation of x square? Expectation of e of x square is what? Just 1 second. E of x square is what? E of x square is what? Sigma x square plus mu x square. So this is what the standard formula we know. When this condition is, when I value equals to j value. Now if they are not equal, then what is the condition? If they are not equal, then what is the condition? So this is expectation of this is the expectation of xi, okay, is one entity, and the expectation of xj is one more entity. Correct? Now, so we have seen here expectation of xi equals to expectation of x. Correct? So which means expectation of xj also equals to expectation of x. Yes or no? So this one is same as expectation of x. This also is same as expectation of x. Now what is this two? It is mu x and mu x. So this is going to be mu x into mu x, which is equals to what? Mu x square. In case of what? In case this one is when I is not equals to j. So finally I is not equals to j, we get mu x square. When I equals to j, we get sigma x square plus mu x square. Okay, and let us assume something now. How many? We'll assume the value of some n value. Okay, so let us assume some value of n. Let us say this n value is 2. This n value is 2. Then what to get? W x we write, right? Wn we are writing. Wn is what? W2. How to find that? Summation I equals to 1 to n. N is 2. Okay, and xi. So this is what it is. So if you expand this, what will happen? If you expand this, x1 plus x2 we get, correct? So now, how to find the expectation of W2? How to find this? What do we get from this expression? From this, look at this and tell me. W2. How do we get it? For one of them, expectation of x, we are getting mu x. If that is 2, we have to add that, right? See, very simple. Expectation of, see, yeah, one second. See, expectation of W is mu x. Okay, expectation of W is mu x. Let us say this is also, this x1 is this x2 is this. Now what is the answer here? 1 plus 1, 1 mu x plus other mu x.
2 mu x.
Exactly. So mu x plus mu x we are going to get. So that is equals to 2 mu x. Okay. Now let us see how good you are at thinking. Now we are trying to find the variance of W2. Then what will happen? Variance of W is what? Sigma x square. Then this is going to be sigma x square plus sigma x square. It is 2 sigma x square. Okay, till now what we did is okay. Now you see, you tell me. I'll replace the same example. I'll replace this value of n. This value of n is 2, right? I'll make it 3. You should be able to tell me what is happening now. Okay. Now let us see. Let us say this value of n is what? The value of n is 3 now. Value of n is 3. Then I want what is W3? What is W3? Correct? Then what is expectation of W3? Then what about variance of W3? What is this? Okay, now we want to come to a conclusion. Now replace this n value as n only. So when you are trying to do it for 2, we are getting 2 mu x. When you are doing for 2 sigma x square. 3 mu x. 4 mu x it will come. Now I want to find out the final answer. What is this? If the value of that in general, what to write now? In general, what is the expectation of this? IID values you are trying to find, right? Expectation of this, how to write? Can anyone say this answer? Which means expectation of Wn is what I want to find. What is that I want to find here? Expectation of Wn is what I want to find here, and then I want to find variance of Wn. If you say this is done, today's topic is done.
Sir, n into mu x expectation.
Exactly. So n into mu x, it is done, and then this one
n into sigma
x square. That's all. That's what we want to conclude. So that's why we have taken the we have taken the example of that. Okay. So what is this? N into mu x sigma x square. So this is what we have to understand. So this is the conclusion of this sum of independent and identical distributed thing. Now we did expectation, we did variance. One more thing is left out. One more, just one statement. If you write one more, if it's done. What is that one more? Which function? We wrote till now with phi, right? Phi of something we wrote. That's called as characteristic function. Okay. Yeah. So let us see that much. That's all, and then leave it off for today. So what is the characteristic function of this? Characteristic function, which is given by phi. Okay. So phi w of j omega. So this one we have to find for n, right? So which is phi x of n of j omega. What is the meaning of this? I'll tell you. Okay. So this phi x1 of j omega equals to what? Is equals to phi x2, sorry, it came double, yeah, carefully listen here, just okay, phi x1 of j omega, this value equals to phi x2 of j omega, this is equals to phi x3 of j omega. How long it like that? So this is going to be equals to finally so on up to 5xn of j omega. So that finally what is that? That will be equals to what? That in general we can write it as phi x of j omega, which means they are identical. So what they mean to say here is for x1 and for x2, for x3, for xn, all in general we can write it as like this. So this is nothing but your identical. Because when you are trying to see the characteristic of that, all of them are identical in nature. So the characteristic function also will be identical. So phi of this one is going to be identical. So all of them will have the similar kind of characteristic function. Okay. So this what is about two variable IID functions. So in the next class, what we will begin is, we'll begin with central limit theorem. Okay, so we'll continue from here on in the next class. So probably on 4th, okay, 4/6/2021, we'll start from here, central limit theorem. Okay, so any queries so far? Any questions? And then so one problem I have told you, right? So try to complete that problem. If not, you let me know, we'll discuss. Okay, any doubts, any queries, please let me know. Hello. Assignments, second one I have given you already, correct? 1 and 2, 3, all 3 are there questions with you. I just want to create the entity here. I'll just create it. Okay. Immediately once I finish this module, right? Which one? Once I finish the second module, I'll create the entity there. You parallelly can keep writing and keep that with you, because all the questions are there in single. First only I have given you all 1 and 2, 3 modules. Okay. Only thing is I just have to create that to upload. So by when can we fix a date? Because I don't want you load too much. Just now you completed your, but this time I'm very particular in completing the, you have to complete this assignments before the IA. Okay, the deadline what I'm going to give you will be the before IA. Okay, Is it clear? So parallelly what you can do is whenever the class is over, so that day any relevant topics are being there in assignment questions, you can keep writing parallelly. Okay. So I'll upload that entity to do it, because right now it's not over, you cannot able to upload it, so I'm not created it, that's all. If I create unnecessarily, you will feel the stress on it. So parallelly you keep writing it. The moment I completed second module, you can upload that there. Okay. How you uploaded usually many of them? How you uploaded your assignments? First IA? Module 1 only or module 1 and 2 both? 2 both means 2 half. Second one half.